All right. And then oh boy. All right. My arms are they're feeling something, all right. Good day. Good day, Demon Zuri. Good day. Hope you're having a good one. Whew. All right. Just got back. Drank some water. Pet the cats. And now I will start very soon. Is that good? So Deltarune came out. Deltarune wants to play one. You know, Pivot isn't gonna fucking do it. I kind of want to do Undertale Yellow myself. I know nothing about what happens in that game. That game has been not spoiled for me ever since it came out. You know, it's funny. We talk about Pivot in a negative context, and he shows up. He decides to be like this. Oh, whoa, it's Pivot. Yeah, exactly. Here I am praising his very offensive racist Asian accent yesterday. And here I am, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to throw a little shit Pivot's way. I'm going to do Undertale Yellow because he hasn't. And look at him. Look where he is now. I'm going to assume this is for... Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure that's Apple, though. Or that's YouTube. Give me a second. Just need to check an automatic charge that was made to my accounts. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, so I'm not really worried. Oh, it wasn't that, it was that. Perfect. I know what it is. Makes sense. I don't like how Apple delays charges. I wish it was just instantaneous, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are trying to commit fraud with Apple, so they got like extra make sure to process the payments, and then it takes them a bit longer. I'll finish that this weekend after I put Seymour in a coffin. I mean, sure, but will I see you finish it? Probably not. So I might as well play it on this channel. Fuck it. I might even play tomorrow. Who fucking knows? How dare. Well, I'm sorry, Pivot. You know how the weekends typically go. One, you're probably going to be playing a lot of Magic. Two, Corner's gonna want to screen share her playing Final Fantasy 16. So when are you going to play Undertale Yellow Pivot? Huh? You had your chance before. You know, I might honestly do. I'm gonna see how long does it take to finish Undertale Yellow. I want the numbers. Five to 6 hours complete for a standard playthrough. However, players who aim for 100% completion, including all endings and side content, can expect to spend 10 to 12 hours. Some players have reported spending even longer, particularly if they choose to engage in more challenging encounters or explore optional content more deeply. I'm feeling targeted. Five. How long did Labyrinth of the Demon King take us? Give me a second. We finished that in about 11 hours, and that's, I think, with doing pretty much everything except for saving the Buddhist monk. But then again, that was a choice, so I just have to go back to a save and just do another one. Or I'm probably going to save the Buddhist monk when I do the next playthrough, when the updates with the fist weapon comes up, because you need a slashing weapon, you need a blunt weapon in that game. So when they release the cestus, or the brass knuckles essentially, that'll be my blunt weapon, and then I'll use the odachi as my preferred slash weapon and try to get both those to max, because one of the achievements is getting one of the weapons to max. So like upgrade the cestus once or twice, and then I'll just focus the rest of my resources on the odachi, and then just wear the light armor. But how's that sound? Undertale Yellow, last minute announcements. I will move World of Warcraft to another day then. I might even move Hiveswap as well. We will see. All right, let's start. All right. Volume 11 of Pals and Promises Made and Broken. Another night, another long walk. Another night, another long, long walk. Despite the blisters, you have started to feel truly optimistic. You've got a lot going for you these days. True, you're still technically a castaway on a hostile planet with absolutely no hope of rescue. But if you're completely honest, Earth was pretty shitty too. Sure, 90% of everyone here is a psychopath who would rip your face off as soon as they look at you. But it's the other 2% that are really going to make it worth it all. All right, Malik, what do you got for me? And remember, you're pushing your luck at this point. A reasonable person would just hit up one of their many, many new friends and find a place to crash. It'd be so funny if I canceled my Wednesday plans, play Yellow first. It would be. But would Corner let you? You think you're clever, but would your wife let you? Well, the night is young, so to speak, and you have a good feeling about this particular desolate stretch of road. You're just wondering where you should hide out for the day. A long car pulls up next to you on the street. You hunch your shoulders and keep walking, hoping they're just here for the scenery. But you are literally the scenery here. So when the back door opens and two trolls lumber toward you, you can't say you're surprised. Oh, are we at war? Oh, we are actually going to war, apparently. Or is that a video game? It could also just be the news, and they just have a console hooked up to the TV. You're a little surprised when they each grab hold of one of your arms and drag you into the car. Up until now, you have found trolls to be surprisingly chatty. You aren't expecting the assault and ask questions later approach. The car takes off before you have time to catch your breath. You'll never catch that breath. It's blocks behind you now. It's loose. And here you are without your breath, face to face with Troll who's leaning back on his bench seat. Just straight chilling. The dome light glints off his blue eyes and what someone less hip than you might describe as way too many piercings. He has them in his ears, nose, and eyebrow. He even has a couple in his horns. His hair is shaved in a daring undercut, and his teeth are sharp. Meh. Wait, is this epic Fortnite moments? Is this the epic Fortnite song? Hey yourself, asshole. Oh damn, some of your newfound self-confidence just bubbled out like you spit up from an infant. This is gonna go bad fast. But instead of immediately murdering you, he looks you up and down, checking you out in all your ragged glory. He smiles, slow and lazy. It does things to your guts. Friendship guts. His smile stretches wider, going slightly lopsided from his piercings. He looks like he likes what he sees, even if he sees as you being a rude bitch. Fair. I did just get my boys to drag you off the street. I get how that a little not chill. Sorry about all that. I'm Malik. Malik doesn't look too sorry, but you're distracted by one of his boys who is looking at you through a familiar pair of eyes hidden behind a ball of dark bangs. Hey, I was wondering if you remembered me. Remember? You doubt you'll ever forget, even with extensive therapy. Aw. Yeah, sorry about the cloak and laser bullshit. Just couldn't let anyone else get their fronds on you first. You know. Wow. He was looking for you? Like, specifically. Sure, dude. I've been following you. Really? You feel like you would have noticed someone like him? Doesn't exactly blend in. Malik folds up his palm husk with the Chitter app open. You recognize your own profile. Your follower count has gone up significantly since the last time you checked. Right. So everyone's going on about this new shitter account, Alien Invasion of One. Figure it. A publicity stunner. Imperial propaganda. Uninteresting. Not worth my time. But then I started thinking, what if it's not? If this genuinely is an alien invasion, how the hell have they survived this long? A drone should have obliterated a call bait son of a bitch like you right away. That's literally what I said. They should have taken your hornless head off pedigrees ago. They haven't. Why? Is what I keep asking myself. Then I figured out how you must be doing it. Without meaning to, you lean toward him. Have you finally found some who understands and appreciates just how terrific you are at friendship maneuvers? Who really gets your area of study? You're a robot. Ah, damn it. Not even close. But he's so obviously and avidly interested in you that, well, you tell a little fib. I am a robot. Hell yeah. Hey, this is kind of crazy. I know you were a robot. Wild. Guess it makes sense, though. You did have a sixth sense for meat and where to find it. Malik looks intrigued. A meat tracker. That equals interesting. Sure. You hope he doesn't try to test that functionality. You doubt you have another meat mirror in you, but all he does is keep giving you piercing looks between texting furiously. Then he snaps a photo of you. Oh no. He's not gonna post that on Shitter. Hashtag robot? You can't be a hashtag. Everyone will know you're lying and blow up your cover, not to mention your mentions. Don't worry about that. Social media gives me hives. I have a Gorgo alert set for a certain combination of words. After Zebra's place, you're kind of expecting another lavish palace. When you get out of the car, you see that Malix isn't indigo. He's cerulean, like Elward and Ramelia, and that one girl who kept boys in cages. Also, you're starting to think people's hives have more to do with taste than caste. Amicia had a homely little art studio, and Tagora had all these vases and shit. Before he leads you inside the apartment building, Malik turns to Damien and the other low blood and starts messing around on his palm husk again. Nice job, guys. I'm rerouting a Cynthian drone shipment as we speak. Hurry up, I'm sending you those DVDs you want. They'll be at your hive when you arrive. The bronze blood ruffian bows to Malik. He looks a little uncomfortable and pats him awkwardly on the arm. And Damien, I'll send your shit to that shrub you live in. Thanks, man. You know, my offer still stands. I got a couple extra coops if you get sick of living rough. Damon shrugs. Thanks, but I can't be tied down. Nice to see you again. I'm glad they get along. Oh man, he's living the college lifestyle. Oh, he has one of those chairs. I remember my brother got one back in the day. It was just fun just rocking back and forth on those things. You and Malik ride the elevator all the way to the top of the hive stem, and he leads you into a surprisingly tasteful loft apartments. Come on, my shit is upstairs. Isn't the whole apartment his shit? Yeah, technically. Let's go upstairs, though. He brings you up to a higher level that has a raccoon shoved against one wall and a couch shoved against another. They are both afterthoughts to just an ungodly amount of computer shit. Hello, Knights. So this is Hiveswap Friendsim. We are on volume 11. And this is Malik. I think he's just a college kid. I think literally his aesthetic is just rich college kid. He brings you up to a higher level that has a raccoon, not a computer. Right when you got here, you probably wouldn't have been able to tell that's what it was. Now you're used to Alternatia's weird tech bug tech. Squishy and organic and almost certainly alive. At least in a way that plants are alive. Though a couple of wires in there are almost definitely slithering. Malik sits down in front of one of his screens and wakes it with a single swipe of his claws. He dresses you lazily onto one of his several office chairs. It squeaks as you sit down and sinks a little under your weight. He proceeds to ignore you as he slides a little pair of thin frame glasses onto his nose, typing a list of commands into a text box. Then he pushes himself across to another screen with an alert flashing in one corner. You know what this is all adding up to? He's an IT guy. No, I prefer to be called... Oh, shit. Huh? I have this joke I do when someone calls me a hacker and I say, I prefer the term information specialist. Now that's ruined. Oh shit, hacker was totally your next guess. You can do it again. Nah, moment's gone. No worries. So he's a hacker. That's pretty cool and subversive. Oh. I'm pretty sure that was not removed in the Great Purge. Give me a second. Or was it purged? No, we got it. Give me a second.
And now, the stars of 4Kids will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
gave proof through the night
that our flag was still there.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
Thank you, Knuckles.
wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July
Go-
from all of us
go
at
baseball.
4Kids TV.
God bless sports. In a month, it'll be second Christmas. Exactly a month, it'll be second Christmas for us. So he's a hacker. That's pretty cool and subversive. You wonder if he's part of Tizia's secret anti-government movement. You almost ask. Then stop yourself at the last second. Whatever Tizia's anarchist leanings are, you aren't going to blab to them to this rando cerulean. As much as you love to meet new friends, you really aren't about to throw one under the scuttle buggy for no reason. Yeah, not a lot of blues get down on this sort of thing. Goldbloods are better of tech. They got that living battery noise. You know how it goes. All the Goldbloods you've met have been well. Azja did have that scouter thing, and Cuprum hacked a phone or something? Whatever. It was a while ago. Zebedee mostly just liked fan fiction. Interesting. You think they would have programmed you with cultural stereotypes? Oh, right, you're a robot. You wonder how a robot's supposed to act. You sit up straighter and think about circuit boards. Malik messes around some more on his computer and frowns. Then he frowns some more. Then he reaches down and picks up one of the thick purple wires from the mess on the ground. He pauses. Apparently he isn't sure where to stick it. He glances down and you cross your legs before you can pull up your dress and start searching for external ports. He goes, nope, not happening, dude. You don't have any network connection, so I've got to use an Ethernet. Don't blame me. You are trying to be lame. You just don't want things in orifices. Eventually you compromise and let him stick it under your armpit like you are having a baby, or like you're a baby having your temperature taken. You watch him tap away at his screen, marveling at the ludicrous choices you made in your life that have led you to a troll sticking a wire under your armpit because he can't find your Wi-Fi signal. You sit there as his brow furrows further and his frown gets more pronounced. His annoyance bounces him out of his laid-back, cool guy attitude. A blinking purple light flashes on his piercings. Fuck, maybe my tech is incompatible. One of the wires is coming towards you, and for a second you think you finally found a piece of technology that is actually alive. But then you see a little flicker of movement at the end of it and realize that it's a white snake with beady, intelligent eyes. Ah, Lucis. Don't be scared, he won't hurt you. He's just checking everything out. Of course not. Why would you be afraid of a giant snake winding up your legs? Everybody's really about your legs. You get a pair of pants. Is the snake checking you for artificial parts? Are snakes particularly sensitive to technology? Is it because they're long? Weird. This is a radical situation. I have no idea what to make of you, dude. He's gonna try to cut me open, because I'm a dumbass. You feel like such a dickhead. Can you really just continue to live this life? I'm not a robot. Brace yourself, and your experience dealing with the fall of your deceptions is never pleasant. Jack can throw you out, or at least get a snake to the face. That said, Malik just sacks back in his desk chair, and which settles with a depressed little squeal. Takes his glasses off and drops them onto his desk, palming at his eyes. It strikes you how exhausted he looks. You thought the dark smudges were eyeliner, but they might be eyeliner and despair. You wonder if now is the time to start apologizing. You're getting really good at apologies. It's chill, I just want to grab you off the street. You're probably scared of what I'd do to you if you weren't what I'd hoped you were. Well, more like you were worried about the friend opportunity that would go swirling down the drain. But yeah, okay. You were also a little scared. You still are. It's a total body-encompassing ambient fear that's always buzzing in the background of everything you do on Alternia. So subliminal that sometimes you wonder if it's the total opposite. Complete absence of fear. Oh shit. That is deep, man. In retrospect, it is pretty fucking stupid to assume a robot's gonna solve my problems. Very true. In your limited experience, more robots, more problems. Yeah, it was just something new, you know? Something I haven't tried yet. What exactly he's trying so hard to do? Seems to be pretty well off. What with his hacking drones and shit like that? Malik laughs. Hacking drones. That is all just bullshit. His elusive curls around his ankle affectionately. He gives him a little nudge. His palm husk rings and he pulls it out of his pocket and just looks at it for a couple of seconds. I can't deal with this right now. Come on. He heads down to the lower floor, waiting at the bottom of the steps to see if you're falling. You are, albeit nervously. You're having a hard time reading Malik? Maybe it's all the piercings. It gets worse when he calls the elevator and then just stands back. After you. You expect swinging blades to come at you, but they don't. You expect Malik to attack you, but he doesn't. He just slumps moodily back against the elevator wall and closes his eyes. His palm husk rings again and his jaw tenses. The elevator goes past the lobby, then it goes past the basement, and the sub-basement. Fuck, what's the sub of a sub-basement? Dude, what? The sub-basement is just a square dungeon-like space. Damp trickling down the walls, your stomach crumples and your heart bounces up into your throat. Oh no. Is this Malik's cerulean murder dungeon? A phantom pain presses against your ribs and arm. But Malik just leads you through a gap in the wall that you intentionally took for a shadow. It opens through a tunnel with rough stone walls and dirt-covered floor. It's clearly man-made, or troll-made. The air grows damper and the sound of rushing water gets closer and closer. You emerge from the tunnel and find yourself on the bank of a wide underground river. Malik sits down on the edge of the overlook. Sit down? Oh, sit down. Sorry, this is not as comfortable as the loft. Oh man, Malik brought you to a special place. I don't know if I'd call it a special, but it is a place I come a lot. You sit down next to him. You get how this could be pretty zen just watching the dark water flow by. The walls glow with an eerie bioluminescence, digging craters beneath Malik's tired eyes. Also, pulls his phone out and shows you the screen. No husk signal. This is the only place I can... I'm picking you up, sailor. You bite me. I'm picking you up like a baby. Where do you fucking get off, woman, and biting me? Her eyes just went wide because Chart decided to make noise. Before she was just like, yeah, let it be held. And then immediately he's like, oh god, the noises, they're back. This is the only place I can really unplug. Kind of relaxing, you know? Oh yeah, you imagine the man's being an information specialist could really put a dent in your chill. Yeah. So Char and Sailor were hunting each other. Char comes by my foot and I come down to pet him and he just like jumps. You sit there for rock digging into your ass and allow yourself to appreciate just how deep this gesture of trust really is. Even after you lied to him, he wants to tell you his life story. Fuck, you love life stories. Cats being cats, yeah. They do make the house more lively, I will admit that. And especially because they're not really cats, they're like rats. And Char's more like a dog than a cat. But then Sayla is just evil. Not really evil, like she doesn't hiss at me, she doesn't like claw at me, except when like she gets overstimulated and wants to play. I just love how she looks evil at times. But she is super fucking affectionate, as we all know. That's exactly what he wants with your non-existent robot laurels. He said something about reprogramming drones, didn't he? Could it be part of resistance? What? I mean, all that low blood right stuff? Nah. What even is the point? That's a great way to get cold. But he helped Damon and that other little guy. Yeah, but they're cool. I was paying them for their services rendered. Roughing you up, he nudges you with an elbow. So far, all I've been able to do is reroute delivery drones. Just some weak sauce shit like that. That's a pretty pathetic way to fuck up the system. You aren't sure you get what he's about. Why care about fucking up the system if you don't want revolution? I guess I wouldn't mind revolution. Alternative is alright. Well, for me it is alright. Not for everybody. I'm not so fucking myopic to think I don't have it better than a lot of trolls. And I'm not one of those bulge biters who wank off about the sanctity of the blood. How low bloods deserve what they get. They don't. It blows. I don't blame them for feeling bad or whatever. I just got to worry about myself. That's all I got energy for. He does seem to be pretty okay. Like, he has that sweet pad. Right, yeah. I have a sweet maybe. Then it's all gone. Everything I worked for, and I'm up in motherfucking space. Right. The space war. Sounds like a huge drag. Yeah, dude. How's it rocking to the dark water below? But that is the plan, right? If I own the drones, I own the whole system. I own the ARS. They'd all be playing my game with my rules. His eyes glint in the semi-darkness, and he does the little hint of fang when he smiles. His piercings light up like tiny points of fire. Tell him that it sure sounds like revolution talk to you. Also possibly villain talk. He grins like you're flattering him. Alright, but I'm sweeps away from that, and other hackers won. I mean, I work alone. I'm a fucking psionic. I can't use mind honey. It won't kill me the way it would a rusty, and I definitely get the runs. But I don't have sweeps. I have months, maybe pedigrees. You ask me if he thinks things are going to be really bad for him up there in space. Like I said, not a psychic, so no one's going to turn me into a battery. They'll make me a fucking soldier or a spy. What was hacker skills? Oh yeah, check out all my illegal activities. Please give me a good assignment. Hell no. Yeah, he couldn't really put that on his resume. If I was a high blood, I'd get away with it probably. Or you might think it was cute if I was a low blood. But mid-cast, like, no way. Fuck, there's gotta be something. Pulls out his palm husk and starts frantically typing away. Wait, you thought I didn't have any signal down here? Yeah, I got a Wi-Fi hotspot. What am I? Some kind of fucking Luddite? He gestures to one of his earrings. You aren't sure if he means his jewelry is a Wi-Fi hotspot, or if that's a troll gesture for you are an idiot. Hey buddy, you said you were gonna unplug. That's important to your mental health, isn't it? Getting off the internet once in a while? You can't really speak for yourself, since you've only very recently became an internet celeb. Malik waves you away. You make a grab for his palm husk. You aren't honestly sure why. You're trying to be flirty or playful or some shit? Because everyone knows there's something more flirty or playful than stealing people's stuff. Bitches love that. You man snatch it away, but for your floppy fingers fumble, you lose your grip. Malik's phone sails over the edge of the bank and into the dark waters below. The splash is the sound of your doom. Malik stares at the water. Then he stares at you. His mouth moves soundlessly. I think he's happy, actually. You threw my tech in the water. Malik puts his hand on your shoulder. Someone gets all impossible odds. Still gonna be chill? Wow, what a guy. You hit the water before you know what's happening. It isn't freezing, but sure as hell isn't balmy either. The current grabs you and tugs you under. Your knees and elbows scrape rocks, and your dress tangles around your legs. It makes it hard to kick back towards the surface. The water's so dark, you don't even know where the surface is. Just when you're making peace with the fact that your grave's going to be a watery one, something grabs you from behind and holds you upwards. It grabs down air, choking in more water than anything else. Two strong hands push you up onto the bank, then begin smacking you on the back. You don't think it'll help you cough up any water, but you do think it's going to bruise. My bad, dude. That was reflex. You threw my shit in the water, so I threw yours. Are you okay? You hack up one more gasp of water and give Malik a thumbs up. He's as wet as you are. Hair slicked back off his forehead. It makes his eyes look huge and impossibly blue. He'd jump in to save your clumsy ass. Sure is gone. And hey now, you know the location of 2 more of his piercings now. You apologize for grabbing his phone. In retrospect, you shouldn't have tried to be cute at the edge of a river. Yeah, you don't have to try. I mean, fuck. Damn, we're getting all the bitches. I still only have one true love, though. I love my beloved. Please, baby girl. Right, now you just look like a drowned squawk beast. Sorry, I fucked up your rumpus froze. I'll lend you something. Cool. You're kind of over the stress anyway. Hey, I'll twist his claws together. You're gonna tell people what I said earlier. I'm not afraid to go off planet. I just, this time you do know. You tell him the secret is safe with him. And if you find any actual rocks in your shelf, you'll send them his way. Heh, thanks. Here. It helps you to your feet. Damn, it's cold down here. I'll get you something when we get back upstairs, as long as you don't mind wearing my sign. You can't think of anything you'd like more, honestly. He was a really cool dude. I really don't want to see the bad endings with him. Like, I don't know. He's just cool. I just like him. He's good. Kind of interesting to see live of peace for you. Yeah. It's also interesting that he's cerulean, so he's mid-caste, as he calls himself. I guess we have met some blues that are pretty cool, actually. She was great. Yeah, mid-caste is teal cerulean. Oh, okay, teal cerulean. Okay, okay. And then another one. And Jade. Okay. Yeah, because that's getting to be blue and that's like green. Jade, teal, cerulean. Okay. Because this was Jade. This was teal. Yeah, this is teal. This is, I believe, no, Jade, teal, and then these have been like cerulean. So we've only dealt with indigos, purples, and violets. Okay. So indigo, indigo, indigo. Indigo was the artist girl, right? If I'm remembering correctly. And the zebra. Okay, and then give me a second. I have to go grab the treat bag for Sayla. She's running on the wheel and actually doing a decent run. Indigos also have the different eyes. All right, one moment. I'll be right back. All right. I am back. I got the treat bag for if case Sayla decides to keep running on the wheel. All right, volume 11. All right. Let's see how the lookalike of Vrishka's ancestor communicates. Let's see. Cerulean's horns are normally not symmetrical, while indigo horns are. Okay. Oh, no, that just takes me. I'll look at it later. You've had such good luck making friends lately that you feel almost popular. At the same time, you feel a strange sense of loneliness that new friendship doesn't seem to penetrate. Maybe being the only one of your species light years away from home is starting to catch up with you. Or maybe you're starting to understand why popular kids in movies sometimes seem so sad. None of the trolls now like you, but do any of them truly know you? What would you what you wouldn't give to hang out with someone you have real history with, someone whom you don't have to do the introductory dance of, yes, I'm clearly an alien. No, I don't know what's going on here. Someone with whom you could reminisce about old times, someone you've hung out with more than once. Right now you're on the outskirts of town and the rocky outcrops surrounding you are familiar. I'm pretty sure that the entrance to the brooding caverns is around here somewhere. Your heart beats a little faster. Ronnie lives close to here, and talk about history. You two know each other deeply from hanging out once and then seeing her again in her ex-mate's bright sky. Plus, you have a phone now. You have the power to text first. You get out the phone Crony gave you. Look at you go, reading an alien language and operating alien technology just fine. Does it make sense that you've learned how to read a new alphabet in weeks without anyone teaching you? Not really. One of your struggles with Spanish class in high school were just a fluke, and you've been a secret linguist, this genius this whole time. Brian texts you back immediately, giving you directions for how to meet her in the caves. You head down, but before the Jade Blood Hive is in sight, a troll Before the J-Blood Hive is in sight, a troll emerges from the shadows. At first you think it's Branya, but you freeze mid-wave when this new troll steps into the light. Branya doesn't wear glasses, and she has never glared at you like that. Ah! How many choices we're getting? I wonder if there's a choice we can do that jumps it from 1 to 5 immediately. Hey, it's you. I remember you. You were down here a few weeks ago, bothering Branya and Distractor when we almost had a Lucis stampede. Ouch. Is that really how Branya has described your adventures together? No, I think that's just how she's describing it. It would be silly for something that small to hurt your feelings when another recent friend nearly got you killed in clown turns. But you like to think you and Branya formed a real connection. She never made you feel like you were bothering her. I don't think Branya minded, really. I think it was literally just, oh, something's happening now. All right. A real connection? Is that what you think? Is that why you think you can just come down here and text her? Holy shit. Is Lynera reading Branya's messages? Does Branya know she's been doing that? That's none of your business. Branya and I are best friends. I'm just looking out for her. She has a lot of Jade Blood responsibilities. Doesn't need anyone shifty coming in to disrupt her. You have to wonder if Branya would agree with this statement made on her behalf, and you sure would like to see her in person and confirm for yourself. And you'd like that, wouldn't you? Yes. I would like to see mommy, yes. Why don't you tell me, what is the nature of your relationship? Oh, we're up to 3. Oh yeah, we're definitely jumping up to 5 nines. Why should I like to hang out with her, as your text message so boldly suggested? Loving has saved your ass in some bleak situation before, but you could also go on the offensive here. You're concerned about Bronny's privacy now, and as her friend, maybe you shouldn't just look the other way. This is the right answer, I know it. I feel it in my bones. You and Branya go way back. Iron is unfamiliar with your history. It might be because your friendship with Branya predates hers. And actually, part of why you texted her today was because your close friendship has recently been getting a little red, you could say. Branya needs someone to step in and fill the hole in her blood pressure left by Elward, after all. Considering the changing nature of your relationship, Branya has been more proactive of you than usual lately. Oh yeah, we're dead. Iron doesn't seem impressed by your astute cultural knowledge. Notice you look intimidated. Her glasses reflect opaque in the murky cavern light as she takes a step closer. Her claws, you've just noticed, are very sharp. Branya is very protective of those she pities. You've got that much, right? You're telling the truth. And I don't know that you are. Maybe she would want to protect you. If she knew that you were here. Oh fuck. You fucked up. Lynera has accepted Branya's phone. Then Branya has no idea you reached out. And you could be disposed of none the wiser. Oh no. Look what you made me do. You had no idea someone to skirt that lawn moves so fast. No text, just you're dead. What right does Lynera have to creep on Branya's phone? You puff up with all the self-righteousness you can muster. The nature of your friendship with Branya is between you and Branya, and you're not doing anything suspicious by wanting to see your friend. In fact, it seems a lot more suspicious that Lynera is trying to intercept anyone who messages Branya. What possible reason could she have to justify that? Well, I never. As I said before, I am Branya's best friend. I take our relationship, our responsibilities as a friend, very seriously. Press the issue, narrowing your eyes and crossing your arms over your chest. Responsibilities as a friend, huh? Sounds kind of fishy. Fishy? Are you serious right now? Are you really coming down here making fish puns? Like some kind of sea dweller? Oh, I think Dayla's bullying Char. Are you really coming down here making fish puns? Like some kind of sea dweller? That's so suspicious. Who knows what Brian decided to show you when you tricked her into trusting you? Not that we have anything to hide, but who knows? If you're all at all associated with Sea Dwellers, then we have a pretty big problem on our hands, don't we? You've heard of Sea Dwellers by now, but none of your friends have talked much about them. Most of you gather that they dwell in the sea. You don't know why it would be extra bad for you to be one of them, but it's clear you need to backpedal. Before you can try to disown your choice of fish-related phrasing, Lynera advances up to you. Obviously, I can't let you talk to Bronya now. You are way too suspicious. I think you and I should have a private conversation instead. At least your life is uneventful when you're unconscious. Oh. That's a lot of pictures of Bronya. At least they're, fan drawings. That's a penis. I don't care if that's a zodiac sign. That's a penis. When you come to, you're sitting on a chair with your wrists tied. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you realize that you're in the smaller cave than the big open caverns that led to the Jade Blood Hive. A light switches on, and you can see that the cave walls are lined with bookshelves, and there's a desk in the corner. There are books and notebooks and bulletin boards with what looks like outlines and study guides pinned to them. And in front of you is Lynera, holding a knife. Oh good, you're awake. This is my study cave. In the Jade Blood Hive, it's hard to concentrate because people break the rules and I get irritated. Oh yeah, Sayla's bowling the fuck out of Chart right now. Break the rules and I get irritated, so I come here to do homework. That's all, just homework. When you take a second look at the bulletin board, you see that a lot of what Lynera has pinned up are pictures of Bronya. There are a few pictures of Lynera and Bronya together, but it's mostly just Bronya by herself. And even a couple of blurry photos of Bronya and Elward. What are you looking at? There's something to see here. She branches the knife in your face, and okay, yeah, sure, now she and her gigantic knife have your full attention, and you're not looking at her creepy Bronya shrine anymore. I brought you here because your messages to Bronya were highly suspicious. I don't know you, and I don't trust you. You could be trying to see Bronya for nefarious purposes. So I brought you here to vet you. I remember that the skeleton in the background started a debate on how troll horns were. I could just see them as bones. Like kind of just like how horns are. Like you're a small little wriggler, and then they grow, and then they stop growing when they reach whatever predestined length they're supposed to get or shape. Now we can talk about what your real intentions are. So, you're definitely going to die in this cave. Held captive by an unhinged Jade Blood who is convinced of your guilt from the moment you dared to text her best friend. That kind of sucks. Because if they are bone, then why are they multicolored? Because they're aliens. Lamau, next question. You tried so hard, and you got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. And if I did not care if this channel got strikes, I feel like that's one that wouldn't even copyright claim the stream. It would try to strike the channel. Oh, come on, stop playing the victim. If anyone is the victim here, it's me. I tried so hard to be there for Bronya as her best friend, but she doesn't even... Lynera stops abruptly. You see her lower lip start to tremble before she turns her face away from you. The sharp tip of the knife pointing at your throat droops a bit. Its rejected swing takes it dangerously close to your navel. Then you try to abruptly lean backwards in your chair. Lynera intercepts the noise of distress that escapes your mouth as the noise of sympathy. It's fine, though. Really, it's fine. Our friendship is great. I wouldn't change anything about it. It's fine as long as she doesn't have any other friends. Because I'm her best friend. I should be the only one she needs. Lynera's knife is now completely lowered, pointing at the floor. That gives you some hope. She seems to have forgotten about her sea dweller suspicions. Maybe you can keep her talking about Bronya. The whole stabbing notion can be taken off the table, and she might even let you go. Rack your brain for all the knowledge of alternative relationship dynamics that you've managed to compile during your time on this planet. Best friends. They have a special word for that, right? Tell Lynera that you're sure Bronya doesn't need anyone else. If she and Bronya are more aroused, then Lynera must be very special to her. What? I never said we were more aroused. That's not even the quadrant that I want her in. Oh. I mean, oh. Never mind, how dare you make assumptions? Hello, knife point again. Oh, shit. All you meant to say that you thought her relationship with Bronny was probably fine. Figured they must be in a quadrant together because you're a clueless alien. You're bad. Get why you think that. It's probably so obvious that my feelings for her are very red. Irina hangs her head and her shoulders shake. Tears roll down her cheeks, dripping on her crisp shirt collar and the knot of her jade green tie. You know I don't have a chance. She doesn't think of me that way. I'm her loyal friend and second command. So all I'll ever be to her no matter what. I try to do a really good job at being her best friend. Because what else can I do? If I'm her best friend, then at least I'm still in her life. At least I mean something to her. Maybe it's the fact that Lyrina's knife hasn't come close to your major arteries for a hot minute. Or maybe it's the tears. Great, you made her cry. Super generic, I don't know if you know this. I'm a bit of a heartbreaker, I'll have you know. But I'm not a homewrecker. Either way, you feel sympathy encroaching on the monopoly that abject terror had previously maintained in your brain's economy. Also, hello and welcome. Hope you're having a good day. I can't believe you. That's right, the ladies. I've broken a heart or two. Mainly rejected their advances. God, now I'm thinking about that old lady who tried to come on to me at fucking Burger King. Great, now we're on this fucking brainworm again. Anyways. I went to the gym today, and my arms were feeling it for quite a bit. You act as a verbal sounding board or a sympathetic ear for some of the other troll friends while they deal with crises of various kinds. Swinging to the role of therapist for someone who's holding you hostage at knife point is a new one for you, but unfortunately, it's not that much of a stretch. Seems like young trolls out here and you have to deal with these heavy life issues by themselves. Feeling so alone that they're willing to turn to an alien stranger to help them work things out. Then again, maybe life is that grim and isolating for human teenagers too, and you just never noticed before. Maybe everyone's too mired in their own shit to look up and realize that the movie's fickle matter is waist high for everyone around them too. You clear your throat and speak with them as much consoling gentleness as you can muster, while your head still throbs from where Lynera knocked you out. Seems like trying to be Bronny's best friend isn't making Lyrina very happy. Of course it isn't making me happy. I can't keep her from having other friends no matter how hard I try. She's amazing. So of course everyone wants to be your friend. Including you, apparently. You barely even had a chance to miss that knife before it's waving around you again. Yikes. Your friendship with Bronny is nothing like her friendship with Lynera. You don't count as any kind of competition. Bronny is one of many friends to you, and while you cherish her and support her endeavors, you appreciate the joint fulfillment that can come from having many different friends instead of depending on a single person to meet all of your emotional needs. Sounds fake. Why would I ever want any friends besides Bronya? She's my whole world. Okay, but it seems like it's painful for Lynera to be relying on Bronya to be her whole world when Bronya isn't doing the same in return. Has Lynera ever talked to Bronya about any of this? No. Never. I'm terrified to tell her how I feel. Being her best friend feels awful. But losing her would be so much worse. I can't take that risk. But if Irina never talks to Bronny about her feelings, she'll always be unhappy because she wants more. Even if she thinks that it's unlikely that Bronny feels the same way, maybe open communication with her friend could help Irina process her feelings and move on. You know that Irina has a big heart, blood pusher, and many fine qualities, and she doesn't deserve to be stuck in this unhappy, unrequited relationship purgatory forever. Oh. You really think I have fine qualities? Try very hard not to think about the glint of that knife. Sir Lynera has positive qualities. She seems loyal and well-organized and studious and caring. Some troll out there is going to want the same kind of closeness from her that Lynera is looking for. And she owes it to herself to take actions that could lead to happiness instead of being stuck in a sad situation forever. Hello, Maxwell. Good day to you as well. We are meeting the Yandere, and we're fixing her. How late am I? So we just did the other routes with the other character, with the really chill troll, who was a hacker, who was a blue blood, or cerulean, I should say, who wasn't murder happy on us. Maverick, thank you. Or yeah, Maverick. And he was really cool. Like, I actually really like him. He was just chill. Like, he wasn't like fake chill like Malik. Like, he wasn't like fake chill like the one gold blood who's a streamer or whatever, a content creator. Like, he was just actually just chill. Like, Malik didn't need to do no space weed to be a chill guy. He just was. Like, he's constantly fucking like tired or whatever and stressed about leaving, but like, seems like if that wasn't the case, he'd genuinely just be a chill dude. I liked him. I liked him a lot. He's up there. But as you know, I love women, so he can't be S tier. Because I'm not gay. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Or maybe you're wrong. But I don't want to move on. Even if I know I should. I just want to be Ronnie forever. Now, if I had the right kind of money, especially for the right kind of money, I would. I just want to be a Ronnie forever. Lyrna not being gay in June, shaking my head. I know. If I really want to profit off June, I'd be starting a SMP server with other fellow dudes. An SMP server that may or may not participate in gay baiting just to get more money. So we can get all the fans riled up. It's like, oh my gosh, they're like OTP. And then they proceed to make the gay fan art of us, which is like fan art, but gay. Because it's me and another dude. Green SMP. Lyrna crumples to the ground, dropping the knife and sobbing to her hands. It's hard to watch someone this much distress and not want to help them. But on the other hand, her misery has distracted her, and this might be your only chance to try and escape. Nah, don't escape. Attempt comfort. Remember what you did for Playboi when she was upset. Sitting a chair with both hands tied behind you doesn't make for ideal swoosh papping conditions. Well, maybe you can approximate the gesture. Lyrna's huddled prone on the floor, and you think you could get close enough to lean your knee against her back or something. Hopefully that'd be interpreted in the same way as the classic palm to cheek move. That might actually be a sign of aggression. You enter your chair close to her, you lose your balance, wobble, and then topple forward. Lyrna's discarded knife is right there, sharp, and ready to plunge right into your incoming soft body. Lyrna moves quickly and grabs your chair and saves your life. Oh shit, that was a close one. You really could have died. She stares at the knife with huge round eyes, clearly shaken out by your near-death experiences now. Considering how often you nearly die these days, you feel more blasé about it. But you're glad it's having an impact on her, and if it makes her rethink the whole kidnap and stab thing. I'm so sorry. I don't want you to actually die. I saw what you were doing with that chair when you fell. I'm trying for the traditional seated front in swoosh pap because I was upset. Of course. Because I'm cultured. I am aware of these gestures. Lyrna, I don't know what you just said, but yes, I was trying to comfort you. If that's what you said, then I'm glad we're on the same page. It was very kind of you and tried to console me. I never thought you were a sea dweller, you know? Maybe what I'm doing is wrong. What does that even mean? Oh. I don't know if you're joking or not, so I will just explain legitimately. So the swoosh path is, if I remember right, you slowly put your hand on a troll's cheek, like their face cheek, and then like lightly pat them, and then have your hand there. And most of the time, what they'll do is like they'll essentially like nuzzle up to the hand, and like that's like a way to calm down a troll if you have like decent relations with them, I believe. And then what we were doing apparently is a real thing of putting your knee on someone's back or whatever and calming them down when you don't have access to your hands for some reason. Because troll society is fucking bloodthirsty, so there must have been more than enough occasions for this to be considered a real move. The fact that you know the strength, because it fucking tells me. It's like you think I don't like remember what I read. Like, sure, most words I don't because they're fillers. I was just joking, and that's helping my knowledge a lot. Okay, because again, I don't know what people are saying, or if you were just saying like, what the fuck is up with these weird people, these aliens, these fucking Xenos? But yes, the swoosh pap is a thing where it's a comforting thing for trolls, but occurs. Also, pivot, fuck you. We got a realistic depiction of a panic attack in game in 2025. We did actually with Crony. Man, I remember when I had a panic attack. That was weird. Riku getting real aggressive today. Close the pivot, all right. I'm not someone who just reads something and then just like, man, that was an activity I did. What's next? Strange knowledge. Strange knowledge is because I've read pivot. I'm reading. Unlike you. All right, where was I? Yes, troll culture is very violent. It's very aggressive. They have an interesting romance / relationship dynamic. Enemy to lover exists in a weird fashion where they're still enemies, but like it's like that rival thing of Kuwabara and Yusuke, where Kuwabara is like, you can't die. I still need to kick your ass. Like, if you've seen Yu Yu Hakusho, then you already know what a kismesis is. Because it's literally just Kuwabara and Yusuke's whole dynamic. I'm so glad I keep seeing clips of Kuwabara going to the funeral. And you can't be dead, Urameshi. I was supposed to kick your ass. Now you can't even punch back. Oh. Kuwabara is so fucking good. If you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, please watch it. I love it. Watch the dub. The dub is so fucking good. It is actually peak English dub. Fire to set your jaw of conviction, and with one slash cuts you free from your bonds. You get to your feet, stumbling a little bit because your leg fell asleep. Can't believe you're getting out of this situation without any blood loss. I feel positively elated about this turn of events, but Myrna still looks sad. Apparently Pivot's feeling himself up right now because he got new emotes. Nothing can hurt him. It's only good news. Oh, I'm gonna let him have it. Pivot, why don't you share emotes with the class? You can post them in general, or the early draft still. You're free to go. You must think the worst of me after all this. Well, you're not gonna lie. This wasn't the best start to a friendship you ever had, but horrifyingly enough, it also wasn't the worst. I think the first girl we dealt with was probably one of the worst ones we dealt with. Like, Zebra was like very uncomfortable, but like you were being legitimately tortured in that first encounter. I was paying attention, but I knew you were speaking. Why don't you share your emotes with the class? Unless they're not finished, then don't, I guess. Since you seem very excited to show that off, you might as well. Like, why not just share? Repeat that lesson. I wasn't paying attention, but I knew we were speaking. Well, Pivot, I also understand you have a job. You listen to me when, like, you know, you're able to. I give you shit for not listening, but I know you're fucking working. So no, I understand. Like, yes, I guess you wrote it rough or rude or whatever, but like, I know exactly what you meant, so don't worry. You feel flutter. You want to show her how real friend-making aficionado gets out there and meets people. You think making new friends could help her feel less clingy about Branya. Oh, you would do that for me? I'm not so sure about new friends. You seem to know what you're talking about. You don't know where to go if I were to teach her how to make new friends. She is probably a bit too uptight to enjoy the music clubs you've been to. And you don't think that troll studying in the book high would take kindly to a lot of loud, friendly conversation. You decide to go to the cafe that Elward introduced you to. Hopefully they're not having an excessively bodily forced poetry night, since you're not sure that'd be Lionel's scene. It might be, actually. It actually might be. There are a number of cerulines here, but also spot a few indigos and teals and a cluster of defiant-looking olive bloods with some yellows, all sitting together. The crowd is overall less pierced and undercut than it was when you were here with Elward, and the vibe is laid back, with all the trolls just sitting around and quietly chatting. You order the drinks, apparently taking for granted your newly acquired skill in reading troll language. Lyrna is fidgeting when you sit down with her. This may come to a shock to you. This may come as a shock to you, but I don't get out of the caverns very much. I don't have time. There's so much to learn about Jadeblood life and troll production. And Brian needs my help to maintain an order. It's not very often that I have to interact with trolls of other blood colors. You're not sure what's making her uncomfortable. The trolls around here that are lower than her on the hemo spectrum, or those that are higher. You worked out by now that Jades are right in the middle, so maybe Lyrna identifies with neither the haves nor the have-nots. Once you remember, neutrality is a big concept with Jades. You show Lyrna that it's natural to be a little nervous. Most people feel like that, feel like they're stepping out of their comfort zone when they make a new friend. If there's one thing you've learned as Alternia's resident friend-making expert, it's that terror and embarrassment are par for the course, but it's worth it in the end. I'm not nervous or embarrassed. It's just, I don't know. Everyone seems disorganized, suspicious, untrustworthy, and unknown. You have to bite your lip to keep from laughing. It's not even funny. This Lyrna is hissing all of her words and leaning in towards you and glaring at the rest of the room, and the overall effect is weirdly endearing. Like someone put a 1950 school uniform on a feral cat. Before you try again to reassure, a new troll ambles up to your table. She looks friendly. That's a friendly amble. Wearing glasses and carrying a book bag and has a teal symbol on her chest. This might be a nerd like Lyrna. Could be a great new friend match. I think I know who it is. Hey guys. I think I've seen you around before. You also study at the book hive? You open your mouth to invite this new friend to sit down. Before you can respond, Lyrna interjects. That's not any of your business. Why do you want to know? Obviously, everyone who goes to the book hive to study goes there for peace and quiet. Oh no, her blood's going. So why do you think you could just bother us just because you recognize us from there? Okay, jeez. My bad, never mind. See you around, never. And just like that, a golden opportunity for friendship has gone up in a puff of smoke. What was Lyrna thinking being so rude? Does she want to learn and make friends? I changed my mind, okay? There's no way I could be friends with any of these people here. I don't know them. Not like I know you. You're surprised to hear that Lyrna feels so positive about you when she was ready to stab you an hour ago. She takes her hand in both of her hands, squeezing her fingers tight. I know we didn't get off to a great start. And that's my fault. But I can make it up to you. We're friends now. We'll be friends forever. And will call anyone who ever thinks about trying to fuck with you. That Not quite the lesson you had hoped to teach her about making friends, but maybe with her fierce loyalty and possessive streak spread out between you and Branya, learn her to be a little more low-key about being a friend to both of you. The determined look in her eyes and the ominous glint of her glasses doesn't scream low-key. But change doesn't always happen overnight. And you believe in second chances. You believe that Lyrna will be capable of a healthy relationship, healthy friendship someday. I only now realize how cat-like her behavior is actually. That is how the alley cat acts after I feed him. Yeah. So next or tomorrow we have volume 12 of uh potentially. Probably very likely. I'll be going through Undertale Yell tomorrow. Why? People wanted to fight me about this. Peak Indigo of know nothings and know it alls. He looks like a nice guy. He looks like he's someone you can take home and your parents would have nothing to worry about. Well, he's a blue blood, so I don't fucking trust him. The only tolerable Indigo. The definition of lawful good. Interesting. Wait, I need to make sure who's the guy I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, no, this guy. Yeah, no, I'm definitely tweeting at him. I don't know. What's that? Riku actually tweeting or like responding to people's tweets? OMG. The Andre characters always have red flags, but I'm not attracted to green flags. Oof. Oof. That's a scary fucking thought. Can't wait for Pippin Corner to hit me with like, Riku, that girl you're interested in, she got some red flags. And she's like, what do you mean? Oof. That's one for the books. It's so funny, Pivot. You could have just said like most of the emotes you just got. I don't think anyone's like you only get like a 3 limit, Pivot. You can't send any more than that. Oh, there's an emote I need to get done. I forget. Oh, I think I've talked about this with you guys before. There Fantastic Mr. Fox. The arm motion they do whenever they go and say he's just different. That's an emote I want done, an animated emote. I could turn that into a stick. I think it'd be better actually as a sticker. Because I think you can do stickers on Discord, can't you? But can you upload your own though? That's the other question. Can you upload your own stickers? I would assume so. Yeah, your server's waiting for you to upload some stickers. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. If you don't know the motion, I can send it. I can send a YouTube video right now. Because I fucking love Fantastic Mr. Fox. My big regret of my last job is not telling my boss or my direct manager who actually gave me the work assignments. He had a kid recently, and I didn't mention to him to make sure that when his kid gets older, to have them watch Fantastic Mr. Fox and Captain Underpants. All right, I got it. I'm just gonna post it directly to both. Yeah, that leads to Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'll put in Twitch. I don't think anyone's here though on Twitch, but I'll still post it there. Yeah, one day I'm gonna get that emote done of just he's just a little arm motion different. I think another one I want from Fantastic Mr. Fox is the one with the wolf, where he just puts his arms up. I'm tempted if I want to be my character. Watch out, guys! This could be spam. We don't know if this is the actual part-timer Rikku if he just hacked. We don't know if he's been compromised. On your earlier point, Rikku, remember that me and Cord are going to police interrogate, interview any potential partner you bring forward. I know. Yes, this is what I told him essentially. Oh wait, no, I didn't actually. I just ran that through my head. That was a thought. That was a tangent that just ran through my head. Yes, Pivot and Corner are going to police interrogate a woman that I bring forward at some points. Pivot, what if they're fucking Amish? What then? You ain't gonna do jack shit. Pivot, a Magic player, thinks he can make rational decisions. Oof. Oof. If they're Amish, it changes nothing. All right, whatever, champ. However, you're gonna try to communicate with them. I think if they communicate with you, carrier pigeon, I think your interrogation is gonna go boots because that's just gonna be funny to me. You know, it's funny you bring up Pivot being irrational and rational decisions and being a Magic player because he decided to make an all red dragon deck because he likes dragons. And I was like, man, I need some very specific cards to make this work. Oh boy, it's gonna be a process. And he did it. It works. Yes, it does. Just because it works doesn't mean it was rational. Ash, I know what it's like to feel different. I only know this. I only know this because I too play Magic. I play Magic very frequently. Well, my brother, Pivot, and Corner, they all play Magic. And now I have a more updated deck because the deck I've been using consistently against Corner and Pivot is like a for fun deck. And only once have I been able to use its full potential, not even full potential, half its potential. And when I did, it was when Corner was testing a new deck. It's like, haha, all right, guys, so I need to test this new deck. It's like, can we get a match in? And I think we wanted to do something else that night, but I was like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it. You're really excited for this deck, let's do it. And a thought crossed my head where I thought to myself, every other time we've played, I've used this deck and I haven't been able to pop off. Where I'm probably going to pop off this match, and any testing she's going to be doing is moot, null, and void. Because when my deck works for a magical bullshit reason, how are you going to counter it? So, of course, you go through the for my throat every game. I do. Because every time Pivot pulls out a bunch of bullshit at the start, and it's like, I have to deal with this problem. And I always recognize if I deal with him, then someone else is going to try to build up. Because for whatever reason, Corner keeps building decks where it's a very gradual climb up. But once she gets to that point, it's that you can't really do much. Pivot's deck can go pretty fast early on and then build even worse. But Corner is literally exponential. Pivot can ramp up quickly as well, but it's not exponential as Corner. Me convincing my friends that it's actually their fault that I have to attack them. It is Pivot's fault every time, because he plays a deck that gets things out pretty early, so I have to deal with that. But I also know that if I go for Corner super early, there's not much you can literally do. And it could be the case of she could go from like 40 to 0 in like just two turns, or not two turns, in like the first few turns. Because guess what? I know what her decks are like at this point. or at least the one she's used. She's like used 2 decks consistently when I've played with her. One of them is the Eldrazi, I think. That one's like literally turn 6 to 7 or whatever, 7 to 8. I think for her it's been turn 6 when just everything comes onto board. Because like usually her first few turns are just playing a few cards that are like meant to help her do the big burst at 6 and 7. And usually I don't have cards that wipe her things off. Also, I feel like it's I don't really have decks that well, I have my own personal deck which I made back in 2016. And then I have the deck deck ramp built for Evil Knievel. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go fast and hard and I'm gonna die. But I'm also taking someone with me. That's the Evil Knievel deck. It's just extreme stunts. They're cool when you pull it off. But you'll probably die in the process. Yeah, whenever I go against corner from the deck, 2 decks, might have been 3 at this point. Usually what I've seen when she plays them, it's things are set and then a few turns later, just everything comes online. Pivot's able to consistently get things out decently early and build from that. All our games evolve into me and you slapping each other for 6, 7 turns, and then corner kills us. I feel like you've won a game. Because usually we play with Neon. I'm trying to remember. Did he win that first game we ever did? I'm trying to remember. Also, if Magic games don't last for, when Magic games only last for like 40 minutes, I feel like I just wasted my time because that game was nowhere near long enough. I remember when Magic actually used to mean something because my games would run for at least 2 hours, and that's when I knew it was a good session. And then I did, and then I won because you let me build up due to being Manuscript, and I popped off to declared vengeance. Oh yeah, that's right. I said I'm always going to kill you. That's right. Thank you for reminding me of my blood oath. I will not fail my blood oath towards you. I think the only reason I won the time corner was testing your new deck, not because it was like a bad deck or anything. It was literally just all the things aligned to make it so that I could do half of my deck's gimmick. Also, I'm sorry for anyone who doesn't know Magic and you're just hearing me ramble about this. I do not know as much Magic as I am letting on right now. It is literally I'm just recapping to you how all the games went. I literally put cards together for my first deck in 2016 and it worked. And now I'm just using a deck my brother made, and I've learned more or less how to play it over the last few games I've played with them. When the Magic politics bleed into all future games, so satisfying. I don't know if Pivot would say that. I'd say I've gotten a healthy, recuperation out of it. Closest thing I can relate to is Pokemon TCG. Only thing I really know is what vaguely Pivot has told, not vaguely, just very lightly what Pivot has told me, and then what my coworker at my internship told me. Because he was really into Pokemon. And he really liked the trading card game. But also he he's kind of been annoyed with the TCG because apparently it's not scammers, scalpers and everything. How like the boxes prices are so ridiculously high. I forget what deck he played. I think Pivot told me what deck he played. I think it was like a Gardevoir deck or something. I don't remember what deck he was telling me. But the meta for Pokemon seems, I don't know, just being shown that, well, I don't know. I forget if if my coworker showed me or if Pivot showed me how like a deck can just be the thing everyone uses. Pokemon TCG is better than Magic, stay better than us. I don't know. Can I make a Furret deck that's viable? That's the other thing. Probably could, but like, could I use it to get sweaty? Fuck no, probably not. Actually, I don't know, I have to actually see the card effects and everything and learn how it works. Mega Gardevoir X and Xerneas. I know that one. But yeah, no, I remember just being shown like I think Lugia or some variant of Lugia. 8 out of 10 of the top 10 placements for the competition or the tournament were just Lugia. I forget the other two. And then they apparently released a counter for Lugia, and then that became the new meta deck. Which at that point I don't know how that works. Like, is it just at that point who gets the better starting hand that wins? Like I do not know how Pokemon TCG works with all that. Like, if you have like the quote unquote meta deck and you face someone else against the meta deck, is it at that point is it literally just who draws the better hand? That's so real. Played around 2016, 2018, but so far that's spot on. Yeah, I think I should have a talk with someone about this, or maybe look up some videos. The meta decks are built with mirror matches and online. Pokemon is more competitive because it's always a 1v1 with very clear win conditions when Magic has more stuff you can do. That's the thing, is like, I like Magic has variety, and of course things are just gonna be, every deck used to be Shaman EX. I think my coworker told me something about Shaman. Like, he was telling me about one era of Pokemon where just everything was one, and it might have been Shaman, I don't know. But he was telling me about another era where it wasn't Lugia, it was something else. Well, that's interesting where the decks are built with mirror matches in mind. And I do wonder how many people try to play quote unquote off meta Pokemons. Because as we all know, whatever is meta is, decided by like the top players, but top players aren't always correct. But they're very well informed typically. So more or less you can judge their judgments. But sometimes they get kind of caught up in the wave of new releases that they forget about some of the old stuff. Well, with Pokemon, I don't know if that could be really a case where that happens. It could. Running off meta decks is like my 56 land deck in Magic. Pokemon's a rotation-based format. So like, is it whoever gets the most wins in like a round robin competition? Is that how it is? Man, I kind of want to get back into Pokemon. I still have the Pokemon MMO thing downloaded. I could probably just get back into that. In my experience, there's like always like 2, maybe 3 decks on rotation. The clearly meta one, the one made to counter the meta, and the neat strategy that's also there. Hmm. No, I mean you have to use new cards because older cards become illegal. Oh, that's dumb. That's dumb. That's what I hate Magic because what is it? Standards last 2 years. I don't know if they've expanded it, but I like prefer modern where it's up to like the range is pretty wide, and also they re-release with cards, so it's not the end of the world. It's mostly turn style. You have to KO 6 of your opponent's Pokemon to win. EX Pokemon count for 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that itch to get back into Pokemon proper, just so I can use Furret. That's why I love Commander, because aside from the ban list, everything is usable. Yeah, like it's fun seeing the decks my brother makes, where like he's trying to either be competitive or just, oh, this is a neat idea. One aspect is that 6 of your cards are not in your library and you draw them after KOs. There are 3 win conditions. That's one. There's also no Pokemon active or in bench or ran out of deck. I do like that where, okay, you have these cards, you lost Pokemon, that's fine. Draw from the reserve right there. Okay. I forget. Oh yeah, Azumarill. That's another Pokemon I really like. I like them. They're just fun shaped. They're egg or an oval. Also, I just think it's really funny how strong they became, where it's like they got what, huge power something, huge, yeah, big power, and then belly drum, and then you can just start. Oh no, looks like you get to die today. I think Azumarill is one of my favorite, more competitive Pokemons, and then for just my favorite Pokemon overall. I just, I just wish Fur would get something more. I wish he got a secret skill at some in one of the generations. I wish he just got a secret skill that made him at least interesting to use competitive, because I think his only good skill is like he can't lose, I think, keen eyes. I think he can't lose accuracy. Yeah, yeah, no, he has keen eyes and run away, which I think helps another range setter. No, I will not subject for it to just be a range setter. I want him to be more. Yu-Gi-Oh is a different experience, though. Is the equivalent of a bunch of homeless people spending time over a trash can fire. My brother's been watching more Yu-Gi-Oh videos and just seeing like some of like the videos or competition videos he's like that he's been watching from like YouTubers or whatever. So it's been, I don't try to pay attention. It's just like my eyes glaze over, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. I stopped paying attention after the Blue Eyes meta changed to only running 2 of them. Is because you want to summon Blue Eyes alternate White Dragon. I don't even know how many versions of Blue Eyes there are. I just remember hearing from Pivot at one point that like Blue Eyes is always somewhat relevant, and then when he becomes completely irrelevant, they release a new deck for him. And I'm assuming this is like one of the later changes of, oh hey, we're making a new version of the Blue Eyes deck, but you only run 2 of them. And Pivot was like, well, fuck you, I'm out. No, it's because what kind of generic garbage is only running 2? I knew it. You want all the dragons. Yeah, only yeah, no. I don't play card games. Never really did. I did. I guess I did a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, but yeah, no. The only card game I've really played is a chip battler, which is like Mega Man Battle Network, and then like One Step from Eden, and then it's PvP. It's solely PvP based one. I do play them more often than I used to. And then Library of Ruin, but that's a deck builder, which is still a card game technically. But yeah. Final Fantasy, Ragnarok Online, Kingdom Hearts, uh, Pokemon. I had like some weird Bionicle game on Game Boy Advance. But Spectrobe. It was like one where you could get aliens and essentially you could have 2 of them on the field and fight them. I don't know if it's called Spectrobe. Bu- 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 trying to think of what else. Yeah, no, Final Fantasy was a big part of my childhood. Bakugan, nah. I was into that one marble game where you had like mini mechs essentially. It was a marble shooter game. I really liked that. That was actually a lot of fun. But yeah, no. Oh, also RuneScape. I was really big into RuneScape back in the day. And then Adventure Quest and Dragon Fable. But Dragon Fable is really annoying though, because I don't know if I'd be able to understand it better now, or if I would just do better. But like progression in that game was kind of annoying. And I remember being on the quest to be a guardian for so long because you had to do a quest where you need to get like 8 of a pickup or whatever, an item. And the only way to do that was to go to this map they spawned in where you fought enemies, but it wasn't always a guarantee to get them. And I remember like I would do that so on and off again. And then I also learned that later on the numbers just became so ridiculous. And also grinding for your dragon to like make it stronger was also kind of annoying. Because I think every day you could go in to feed them, and if you weren't a member, you had to use like the lowest quality grub or whatever to feed it. And also in Adventure Quest, oh my gosh, I fucked up my build so hard because I was putting points into everything because I thought everything was needed, but I was mainly just using melee weapons. But like I was even putting points in dexterity. It's like, oh hey, I got this like really nice ranged weapon. Maybe I should put points into dex. And I don't think there's an option to like. I remember trying to find the option to reset stat points, but I could never find it. But I kept looking online and it kept saying, "Oh, you're able to reset your stats," but just younger me could never find the option to do that. I never learned where it was to be able to reset stats. Also, Mardek. Mardek was another. Congregate was also just another big part of my life. It was essentially the equivalent of cool math games, except this one's like explicitly like a game site. I played so many games on there. I've had this talk with Demon's Dairy before about there's this one game I was looking for that's a flash game that came out on there. Played it once, beat it in one sitting. It took me a while. Like I think it was like a 3 to 4 hour game. And I got into a lot of close calls of losing, but I just managed to beat it and I could never find it. Well, our assassin attack because you always know you. That's the thing where unfortunately I wasn't given that blessing of just unga bunga. It was like, oh no, which damage stat do you want to put it into? Do you want to put in dexterity? Do you want to put it in strength? Do you want to put it in intelligence? And me being boo boo the fool, I was like, oh, well, I'm getting good things and all of them. I'm gonna put all the stats. And the problem was, you could make a balanced build, I believe. You could do that. But your accuracy would suffer. I just remember missing so many hits because I'd have a strength weapon, but I hadn't leveled up my strength in a while. I think because I wanted more MP, I kept leveling up magic. But because of that, and me mainly using strength weapons, like my accuracy was low, my damage was low, but my magic was high. But the problem was, I didn't know any of the really good spells. And even if I did learn them, the MP cost was kind of unmanageable for me because again, I'd put quite a few points in intelligence, but I'd be spreading the points everywhere besides strength, essentially. So while intelligence was one of my higher stats, it was not high enough to use the good spells consistently through fights. Also, I think that's another thing where I forget if dexterity also helped your hit chance, or if you just need to put points into strength and that also helped your accuracy. Kind of like how in Ragnarok Online, there's the hit stat, and I never understood how this works. I never understood. There was builds you could do for leveling where you never put points in dexterity, and dexterity is the big thing that got your hit up. Where there was builds that say, "Oh, just put your stats into strength, agility, and vitality." And then because of that, you're able to hit really hard because your strength stat's really high. But I never understood, like, how are you able to hit enemies, or are you doing the thing of you're fighting technically a lot lower level enemies because your hit stat does go up. Your hit stat does go up, but it goes up so much more with dexterity. Where I always found, even if some jobs I'd put them up to like 40, and then spellcasters also want dexterity because that affected their spellcast speed. Um, I kind of hate RPGs for that reason, where it's like you might screw yourself over stats. Yeah, I think I do hate that where sometimes there's just they give you the freedom to put in stats, but you don't know what's actually good. It's like in Dark Souls, hey, we have the luck stat or the resistance stats. I think resistance is the main bullshit one. I don't know. I think luck, no, luck was actually good in Deep Souls, if I remember right. But in Dark Souls, it's like, oh, hey, you're taking a lot of damage, aren't you? Don't you want to bump up your damage resistance? Why don't you put in resistance? And it's only from like the internet or other people telling you that resistance is a bad stat because it doesn't actually reduce damage that much. Where it probably does, but you need to put in a lot of points, and your main damage reduction comes from upgrading your armor itself. Like in wizardry, the defense stats isn't that good because a lot of enemies will be able to two shot you really easily. Um, and you can bump up your defense really high, but if you get towards the max, what's you're able to with like a lot of like substats or whatever, you only hit like the three. You hit like the three hit damage like here of like, oh, you don't die in 2 hits now, you die in 3 consistently, which can be very good, I should say. But at that point, it's like the whole thing of like, well, if you DPS more, that means the fight's over faster, and that means technically less risk, which depends. Playing Fire Emblem for the DS, I lost the guy with all my stats. Saw blocking the game on the last. Did you not reset at that point? Or is it just like you died there and you're just like, fuck it? Or did it auto save? Like they died as the boss died and it auto saved? Is that what happens? Because at least with Fire Emblem, even the save was after he died. Oof. That fucking hurts. Was that Mystery of the Emblem or something? Or because if it's Awakening or fuck, what's the one? What's the one that I hate? The one of Hoshido and Nor or whatever. Conquest. Well, I'll just say Conquest. I know that's the Nor route. I don't remember them having an autosave after being the bosses. I thought I'd be fine in the next one, and I was not genuinely traumatizing. It was genuinely traumatizing for me. Oh, the shadow. Okay, I never played that one. I could see them pulling that shit though, because it's the older one. It's supposed to be harder, so this is what happens. Yeah, I never played Shadow Dragon. I'm not a real fan. I'm a fake fan. Then again, I don't simp for Marth. As we all know, I simp for Soyel because Soyel is here. And Edelgard. But that's neither here nor there. Don't look at my Twitter likes. Because you fucking can't. Because Elon. It's gonna be funny one day. It's gonna be, oh my gosh, we're gonna let likes like be shown again. You know, we can't, because Elon finally got over being butthurt by being exposed for his mommy milkers fetish or whatever by being a little kid on the internet. And everyone's be like, oh my gosh, you can see my likes, like I'm getting canceled. And then it's just be like, uh Riku, like, why do you have all these likes? Like, what are they like? So then it's like a lot of women's like, there you go. There's your fucking answer. Elgard pick is based and crazy. I just think she's neat. And you can come at me with like, oh, genocide, oh, you know, uh wrong side of history. But you know, I like a woman who's a breadwinner. Also, fuck Claude. Claude is so much better in the Dynasty Warrior game, but in Three Houses, he is literally just treated like Kirito, where nothing can go wrong for him, and he never struggles. But in the sequel game, they actually make him work for his wins, and he feels like an actual character. So many things just go right in Claude's route for no fucking reason. Like Claude that route genuinely frustrates me. And then it doesn't help that there's a bunch of people who use Claude's routes as justification to like shit on the other two routes. And no, the other three routes, I should say. But it's literally the devs just handing them all of like the W's for some reason. It's so absurd. Like just every problem gets fixed. Like just because Claude decides to do like one thing, and it's not even his efforts. And like in the sequel to Three Houses, or pseudo sequel, I should say, I am willing. I feel like the routes are a lot better in general. Dimitri gets to like have a glow up. Claude works for his wins. Edelgard, I think Three Houses has the same problem as the host as Conquest and what's the other one? I don't want to look up. I'm being legitimate here. I do not want to look up that game on this computer. I hate that game so much. Birthright, thank you. Conquest and Birthright, where they just kind of had their head up their ass with some story beats, because the DLC for Three Houses, like Three Houses proper, the tactical game, not the Dynasty Warriors like, they set up your character to have a lot deeper lore and implications to this whole setting. It was my first Fire Emblem dopamine. I just hope you played a better one. And if you say that's your favorite one after playing a few other ones, I'm going to choke you. So in Conquest, I did play that one because I only had $20 and it cost 40. I played 2.5. I know you played I know you played Three Houses a bit. Well, Pivot, you got options. You can play Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. You can play Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. You can play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. I would say probably you don't really need to play Radiant Dawn. You can just play, or you don't need to play Path of Radiance. You can play Radiant Dawn. It's a sequel to the OG, but you don't really need the prequel. Also, I think the sequel is just better in general. Anyways, Awakening's good. Three Houses is frustrating. I feel like because that's the game that came after Conquest. And I feel like their writers are still stupid. Fire Emblem Engage, the other one I played is Sacred Stones. Sacred Stones is good. It's easy. Don't get me wrong. Like, well, if it's your first one, it's going to be hard. But when you play the other ones, you're like, oh, okay, I see a lot of the things they did to make it easier for new players. Like, that's kind of how it is. So, if you had trouble with that one, the Shadow Dragon remake is good. I don't know if the ending is good. I don't know if they changed the ending for that. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if that's literally just literally just a straight port from the old Super Famicom version. So the story ending might be changed a little. I don't know if they actually did anything. Or they could have been building into their sequel of Mystery of the Emblem. Because there is actually a sequel for that game, which is Mysteries of the Emblem that they made, where I think that was like the first or second Fire Emblem game where you can create your character and they'd actually appear in battle, and I believe their name was Chris. But so Fire Emblem Engage, I think the story, I think the series that just has highs and lows of story. I think a lot of people would argue that like the earlier Fire Emblem stories were just better, and I could definitely agree with that part. But I think recently it's been more up and downs, especially when the GBA games. Uh I could see people liking Fire Emblem, the one from Elliewood. I could see the one liking Blazing Sword with Roy. I could see people liking Sacred Stones. Compared to the old ones, I don't know how people would think about them. Shadow of Valencia. That's the one that came. That one is the remake of the apparently the hardest Fire Emblem game. I don't know if it still keeps that title. I just know that the OG version on like essentially NES Super Famicom, that one was like super rough. That was like the toughest Fire Emblem, and the only game that came close to its toughness, if not, it may have surpassed it, it may not have, was Radiant Dawn, because of just its different difficulty levels and the amount of enemies you fought. Because I I don't know if that's the game where you had the most characters to use at your disposal. Like I'd be very interested to learn if there was another Fire Emblem game that had that much content or that much characters to choose from. Uh, but I do think after Awakening, and if people said like Awakening didn't have that good of a story, I see it more of a celebration because remember we could have had Awakening on Mars. Uh, but I think Awakening was just more of a celebration. But then for some reason, like they just shat the bed and then started sleeping in the bed with Conquest and Birthright because they had the certain plot line they could have followed and made the Noir and Birthright ending so much more interesting, but they just kept being stupid and the stories were just so frustrating. A lot of the more emotional moments didn't need to happen because there are characters there that would have prevented them because they had a job to do, but they just wouldn't do them. And I feel like it's because they wanted to make it so that both versions of the game were like, oh, we want to make sure like each side gets like these characters rather than like, but they had a dedicated section where no matter your route, you get a certain characters. So I don't know why these very significant story characters who had a reason to be there weren't put in that designation. They knew who they needed to. They knew they needed to follow the pro tag. They had their job, but they wouldn't fucking do anything about it. I'm sorry. I'm just so Conquest and Birthright just get me so riled up. It it is just so frustrating. All the bad choices they made, and like gameplay, it's fun. It's fun. I like it. It's fun. It's different. It's fun. I like it. But I hate these story decisions they've made in there so fucking much. Okay, David, we'll go for it. What? You can say okay, but what are you gonna say? It has face painting in the JPers. That is true. That's also another thing. The localization of that game just infuriates me. It it makes me so angry. There is a talk between two essentially bodyguards of the highest members of or I don't know if they're the shinobi, the ninja. I just remember there is a conversation between two guards who are kind of stoic, and in the English version, their C support conversation is literally going dot 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 to each other. In the JP version, they actually have a conversation, but for some reason, some localizer was like, "Oh, this is funny. We're just going no conversation. We don't." Okay, I can understand when a conversation changes from JP to English. It's whatever. When people complain about that, it's like, okay. My complaint is when you remove the characterization that came from that conversation by what you changed. That is my big problem. So when you have essentially like let's say a teenage girl in JP, they're using their slang. And then when you dub them, you have them start saying Riz, like and gas up or like cooking, whatever. As long as we get essentially the same characterization, we learn kind of the same things that we would. Because again, like these are teenage girls, they're gonna use the lingo that's appropriate. So as long as the lingo gets across the same idea, I'm not too upset if things change. Because again, teenage speak is teenage speak, Zoomer speak is Zoomer speak. Like it we might have a few things because the internet, some things are exchanged culturally. So some ideas and concepts are like understood across the seas or whatever. They just have a different word for it. Again, I'm fine with it, but we should still get the same idea sets characterization. But when they decide to do that, like I I hate localizers so much. Pivot, you're a genius. Zoomer mod would go crazy. It might make the story more tolerable, in all honesty. Okay, so Pivot says, okay, but Takumi. That's fine. You like Takumi. You expect me to yell at you? Or is that your justification for you like the game? So you like the game not because you paid attention to the story, but because of this one character you really like. That's fine. If that's your reason for liking the game and then also like the gameplay, like why would I have a problem with that? Because you're not saying my complaints are not valid. You're saying you like the game because of this one thing. Which, yes, Takumi is part of the story. And he makes decisions in that. But also, like, his general characterization, all of that, if you just like him for that, then I can't really complain. I even play Conquest amount. I like play Perfect. That's fine. Solo leveling argument for real. What would be? Or you just like it because of one of the characters or whatever. I actually don't know much about the solo leveling things, anything about it. I just know one anime of the year because Crunchyroll just saw a bunch of people recommend it as like a competitor, but like didn't actually like have people like score their things. They just asked for a list. And it's like, oh, solo leveling's on the list a bunch. It's number one. I remember hearing about that. Uh, but again, pivot. If you like Birthright because Takume, it's kind of whatever. Because you're not sitting here telling me you like the story. Because I know if you tell me you like Birthright because of Takume, I know you mean specifically the moments of him being an angry little guy and then kind of getting over it towards the end. And I can make the assumption with pretty good confidence that like everything else to you is just kind of like fuzz. It's like white noise, essentially. So again, you can like it because you like Takumi. At that point, it's like whatever. You're not sitting here telling me you love the game because of the story. And if you do, I already know what to assume from that. It's like, oh, the scenes with Takumi, you really like them. You like his characterization, you like the scenes he's in. Because you probably don't remember a lot of other characters unless there's some aspect you like. I could see you liking the one girl, the one chieftain, uh, who had white hair, dark skin, and was typically shown in her sprites with like an Oni club. I can see that being another character you like. And I think she was, yeah, I remember 5 characters exactly. So yeah, I'm not one of those jackasses who's like, oh, you like the game, like, and you're saying your reasons to kill me, well, about all this other shit. It's like, no, like if you're just there for that, then you're probably not paying attention to the story, which is my main complaint. You're not saying the story is good. You're saying you like this kid. Anyways, Engage. I watched my brother play it. I think I need to play Engage at some point myself. Looks fun. White hair characters sync me every time. Yeah, I feel that. White hair, dark skin, peak. That's all I'm gonna say. That is my objective view. Pivot like the part of this story where his sister. You know what? I'm gonna just be honest with you, super generic. He probably forgot he had sisters. I'm gonna be very genuine with you. Like, I know he knows the samurai older brother because there's that fucking meme of him. Like, he's willing to wait 30 turns before he goes on the offensive. I know for sure he knows that meme. And then it's gonna be like 3 other characters that are like, oh, why do you know them? They only had like 8 chapters to them. It's like, you know, I like them. It's like, yeah, sounds about right. Ryoma, I think his name was. Ryoma, no, I think it was Ryoma. My team consists of Ninja Man, Stick Girl, me, Lobster, and Magic Person most of the time. Ninja Man. I think I know what you're talking about. It's the guy with the green hair. Stick Girl, Stick Girl. Oh, wait, Stick Girl. Oh, Obero, Ryoma, and Magic Person. Do you mean no other ninja? Other ninja. Sozer? I'll look this up. I'm just gonna look at the list of birthright here. You know, okay, you tell me the. You know what? No, I'll look this up. It's worth it. It's fuck it. I'll stay in the computer for this. Emblem, birthright, characters. Oh, Saizo? I think Saizo. Yeah, red hair. I think he had red hair. And then Asamo? No, that's not showing the full list. There we go. Okay. Or did you have Kagero? Did you have Kagero on the team? No, you said Ninja Dude. Okay. Yeah, no, I got it right. Yeah, red hair, Saizo, and then you had Awesome, I'm assuming. And I know you had Obero, because Obero was just a pissed lady. I know you had her. All right. And then Rinko. Rinko was the girl I was talking about with white hair, dark skin. But Charlotte was so funny. I always married her to Xander. Because essentially she was a farm girl, wanted to make more money for the family, became a mercenary. She had a very what's the word? Oh, Azure. Oh, you said Magic Man. Oh no, Stick Girl. Yeah, that's Azura. She carries around a stick. I thought you were talking about Obero. Never mind. No, she doesn't have a stick in her thing. Yeah, no, Azure. Uh, what was I just fucking saying? Yeah, she was a farm girl. Uh, Charlotte had large breasts, large buttocks, thin, and she'd use her charms to like get more money from people, but that all the time that money would be sent to the family. And so in her route with Xander, the Prince of Noir, uh at first, like he thinks that she's just trying to get close to him. Literally says, "All right, what's your game?" She goes, "What do you mean?" It's like, "All right, tell me how this usually goes when you're trying to lure in men." Okay, normally I do this and then have my breast squish against your arm, and then Xander goes, "All right, okay, thank you for your service. You may leave now." She goes, "Okay." Second part, I think Xander sees how much of a help she is to the campies. I think at first, Xander thinks that she is just taking everyone for a ride, but then she sees like, "Holy shit, you're actually super strong. What the fuck?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm a farmhand. You probably think I'm some dumb, dirty, lowly peasant or whatever." And then in the SA rank, I think, he goes, "Hey, Charlotte, all right, I need a capable woman in, you know, because I need a queen." She goes, "Yeah, uh-huh,
cool because she's still like she doesn't think anything. And he's like, so I think you'd fit perfectly for the role of a competent leader for the kingdom. And she freaks the fuck out. She goes, "Oh, hey, no, it's sweet." It's like, "Give me a second." He goes, but of course, my love." Goes outside in the balcony and just screams, "Fuck yes," essentially, because essentially she no longer has to work hard to provide for her family. And I assume that's one of the conversations that wasn't changed in the localization too much. You know, thinking back on Noir, it makes sense that Elgar's route went as it did because Noir is just the precursor to Edelgar's route, where it's a rougher route, but you're trying to fight for justice. You're trying to work within the system, but they don't commit to it. And this is also part of the problem I have with the story, where uh the pieces of big lore implications are with you on the Noir side. And I think it only should have been reinforced by Birthright, where some of the members defect to your side because their goal is, of course, like they were told your name specifically, you the pro tag to follow, but they don't follow you because for whatever reason they decide. I don't know. But honestly, with how half-assed they went up the Nor route with everything that was showing that like maybe this is like should have been the more interesting route. This should have been the route that things got done. Uh and even in the neutral route where you bring everyone together, uh they still don't really commit, I believe, to the characters who had big significance. Yeah, no, it's just frustrating. I truly do think Conquest was just showing us what was to come with their writers and then engage the stories. And from what I've heard, first half, who cares? Second half, oh, hey, this is good. This is getting more interesting. It feels like they tried to make a single story and split into three. Yeah. I don't know exactly what they were thinking with trying to do that. I think it really should have been a game where you start in Nor, go to Hoshido, or start in Conquest, go to Birthrights, and then gone to the neutral routes. Like, we know who the bad guys are and why we are helping them. Like, we know who the bad guys are and why are we helping them. Yeah. Because I understand the idea of Nor is like working within the system to change it. But again, when you add in the elements of certain characters that have a lot of lore significance to why are they even here and what are they supposed to be doing, and they don't do anything, it just feels like I'm gonna okay. I know I've shit on the writing a lot in the last 30 minutes. I'm gonna throw them a bone and I'm going to say some higher up in Nintendo of their division or whatever, intelligence systems, whatever. Some higher up told them, hey, we want to do the Pokemon thing of selling two different versions. Make it happen. And that originally they had this idea, this cohesive story, that they then need to turn to three different routes. I still feel that the writers dropped the ball real fucking hard with making these routes because, and I feel like the problem was that if they wanted to make the story they wanted, one side of the story was going to matter more. That's just how it's going to be. So instead of making the right choices of taking that as a consequence, they make the stories just equally as shit. And I'm pretty sure they were frustrated. They're at wits' end, but higher ups told them that, and they just had to essentially write a half-assed story. Because if they're at their wits' end, I'm still going to say they're a shitty writer. But I think at that point, they didn't care because they had to be done because orders are orders, and this is a job, and I need a paycheck. That makes so much sense, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, and maybe I shouldn't say they're a shitty writer. I should say they wrote a shitty story. I think my previous comment's a little too harsh. They wrote a shitty story. But with Three Houses being a thing, I think I have a little more credibility of saying they are a shitty writer. Because they've consistently shown that they cannot do this. And then with the pseudo sequel to Three Houses, they again have really interesting plot elements to work with. Do not use them. Why do you waste our time? Trying to be nice, and I just remembered, no, they've had a streak at this point. And then someone's going to point out, like, well, it was actually a writer for each. It was a different writer for each one. It's like, wow. So they keep hiring shitty writers for each game. They need to stop that. I should play Gauge at some points. It's like over the Pokemon. Oh my gosh. I do not know what they're fucking smoking, but the general public has not done anything to make them change their minds about releasing shitty games. Because guess what? Scarlet and Violet were the biggest selling games or whatever, and everyone knew like this game was not going to run well. But here we are. And then now they're releasing Legends A to Z or whatever, A to Y. Sounds interesting, I guess. They're bringing back Mega Evolutions. I think and this is just a fun idea, to have some fun in this whole fucking shit show conversation of Fire Emblem Conquest and Noir and then Three Houses. I think after Scarlet and Violet came out, a Nintendo head came down and said, listen, I know we don't own you. You're your own thing, technically. But so help me God, if the next game causes as much controversy as this one did, I'm going to cut off your head. And the people at the company were like, all right, we know how to turn this around. Don't worry. No need to cut off our heads today. And they said, hey, remember when we said we're never doing Mega Evolutions ever again and that anyone who liked it is a monster? We're now going to take a step back and say, hey, Mega Evolutions are cool, right? We're adding some more. Because we know a lot of you weren't fans of any of the gimmicks we did before. So we're just going to give you the thing you want. Because what is it? There's been reports of them saying that they read fans' ideas and they always think how dumb they are or whatever. Like those aren't good ideas. But looky here, after the amount of people calling them out for how shitty the last game was, despite being like the best-selling Pokemon game ever. I'm pretty sure someone came down on them and said, "You're gonna fucking fix things." The game might not run better. The game might not. In fact, I don't know if we'll ever get like an actual Pokemon game again. I think they'll keep trying to do new weird things. I want Breath of the Wild graphics that as well. I want them to care again. I want them to make a game that challenges the player and just has a fun story. And just keep building up on the hype because Mega Evolutions were hype. Like it was fun. It's cool. If you want to just be a kid's journey, make it give me a sense of wonder. Give me a sense of awe. You've done that before with the older games. You did that with Emerald. Emerald was so cool. You did that with Platinum. It just feels like their head is so far up their ass because they have a cash cow. People are gonna buy the merchandise. They're like, it's the same thing with Square Enix and Final Fantasy 14. Why should Square Enix give Final Fantasy 14 more money to work with when what we do what they've worked with their budget so far is already made them back so much more money. So it's like, why not keep those profits like the same, essentially, by just keep giving them the same amount of money and only gradually increasing it? Like Yoshi P is just he has let his team take so many blows for Square Enix because it's always like, oh hey, just because you add more money, like doesn't mean like you can make like a better product or whatever. And it's just like you can add more though, and you can ensure that quality is along the lines of what we expect. Like he just keeps saying this because Square Enix, like everyone, because like when a general person hears that, it's like, oh, Yoshi P is like is just stingy or whatever, or like doesn't want to work more when he already works insane amounts. But the problem is that if you want to keep a job, you can't just shit talk your company for not giving you the finances you need to do your fucking job well. Like I'm being honest right now. The there I think I'm actually getting like I feel like a blood vessel like right above my eye out of this frustration. Yeah, I know Square Enix just keeps fucking coming back to the cash cow that's Final Fantasy 14 and says, "Hey, we're increasing your budget slightly, you know, to keep up with inflation." And like, you know, you may get a few new members every once in a while, but like, you know, if there's ever a project we're gonna pull you from USDP, we're not gonna give you the people you need, and then you're probably gonna have to pull the team, you know, that you work so hard to grow Final Fantasy 14 to go help out Final Fantasy 16 to finish its development. Also, we're not increasing your budget despite all the work you're doing. Also, Final Fantasy 16 was a failure. Like, it didn't sell that much copies. It's just like, what console did you release it on? What fucking console did you release it on? PS5. How many are out in the wild? And how many of them actually care about a RPG instead of like a sports game? It's still a failure. I hate Square Enix. I hate the Pokemon Company. I hate a lot of companies. They're just so stupid. They're just so fucking dumb. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little rant of mine. This was Hiveswap Friendsim, Volume 11, Part 10, technically, for the overall stream. But yes, I feel like FF should just make MMOs now. I'd be interested to see them do another hardcore MMO like World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft Classic has just been doing pretty well from what I've heard. So yeah, it was a good rant, Riku. I hope you had fun. I know it was a bit of a downer, but I had fun. I had fun telling them all these different things that they need to go fuck themselves. But regardless, thank you all for joining. I will be back tomorrow. I may or may not play Undertale Yellow. We will see. So, thank you all for coming. Have a good one. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, listening. Whether you're here for a few minutes or the last few hours, thank you for stopping by. So, or also if you're a VOD watcher. I apologize. This wasn't all Hiveswap. Yes. Thank you all for coming. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.